Hi, I'm Michi, and welcome to Daily Reflections. Let me ask you a question. Are you addicted to your smartphone? Bet you're not, right? Chances are that I am, or was. And at some point, I realized how bad my I know addiction is a bad word, but how bad that addiction actually was. Um, in its principle, our smartphones are lifesavers. At least mine is. And without my smartphone, I wouldn't be able to live the kind of life I live every day. I mean, there's so many features that I need and that I use regularly. Some I wouldn't need. There are ways around, but others I just can't get around. Like, I cannot do a bank transaction without my phone. It's just not possible unless I go into a physical bank. And there are many other situations where actually I'm bound to it. I have to use it. But at the same time, smartphones are designed to be addictive. They have all these alert functions, all these red colors, all these sounds that grab your attention, grab my attention. And it's fascinating because on average, we spend roughly 3.25 hours on our smartphone every day. That's like 3 hours and 15 minutes. And the data says that 1 in 5 persons even spends upwards of 4.5 hours on his or her smartphone every freaking day. That's luckily not the case for me, and I've probably been within 2 to 3 hours a day in that range. But that changed, and I want to show you how that changed. So, first of all, we cannot multitask. If you do two things at the same time, you do one thing, and then you switch to the other, and then you switch back. Maybe you switch frequently, but you cannot process two things in your brain simultaneously. So, what does it mean when you're on your phone? It actually means that you're not present. And we talk a lot about being present. So, every time I'm on my phone, I'm somewhere else. And that has some unfortunate, some bad implications. For example, and it doesn't happen to me that often anymore, but it happened in the past that I'm talking to my spouse, I'm talking to a friend, and within that conversation, you come across a topic, you have a question, and you look it up on the internet. You probably know that situation. But the point where you look some information up on your smartphone, you're not in the moment anymore. You're not in that conversation. You just switched into another universe. And chances are that you'll get stuck there. You don't get back to the conversation. Maybe you spend the next half an hour with the person you're talking to on that phone. And that can be fun, but it's not really the point of having a conversation, right? And of being physically in the same room. And there are many other situations where we're distracted by our phones. It happens to me frequently that I'm on the subway, I get bored, I have no thought in my mind that I want to think about. So I just pull out my phone and see if I got new messages, new emails, or if I don't, I just open up social media and see what's going on there. We'll not dig into that too much, but I guess you know in which other ways your smartphone can be distracting. So, what did I do about it? First of all, as always, awareness. Just being aware of what my smartphone does to me. And then, whenever that happens, I get into that situation, I can consciously observe it and do something about it. But then again, by design, they're built in a way that they grab our attention, and we can reduce that. So the things I did to reduce it is, first of all, get off social media. It's bad. So yeah, except for YouTube, for I don't really use social media anymore. And then there are other kind of things you can do. One thing is I put my phone on grayscale. That's very weird, also, or especially for looking at photos, but you can check it out. My phone is like all gray. I didn't come up with that. It's pretty easy to do, but that takes out a lot of signaling from your smartphone, because all those colors that want to grab your attention are gone. And then there are other things I did. I did put on downtime. You can say like from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. I don't want to be disturbed. So we have downtime. All the apps are grayed out. I even put it for the whole day. You can actually not do it technically for 24 hours, but it's set from 9:01 to 9 the next day, which means 23 hours, 59 minutes. I have downtime, so I get asked for each app I want to use. I get asked every time whether I want to extend the limit, and that creates sort of a barrier to actually use apps, and it makes it a bit more cumbersome. So I really have to have a stronger intentional need to actually use it. And then another thing about that downtime is that the apps are actually even more grayed out. I can show it to you again. So you have like apps, and there's one that's always allowed, Kindle, of course, but there are others that are like a bit more transparent, and so they're not visually so attractive anymore. What's the end result? I can tell you. Like previously, I ranged between 2 and 3 hours, and with those little tricks, consciousness, I substantially reduced my screen time. And the end result of that is, and you can have a look, I'm happy to share, is like I spend on average 42 minutes on my phone every day. And most of the time I spend with my Kindle app reading books. So that's a substantial reduction of how much time I spend on my phone. But then on the other hand, it also means that I'm substantially increasing the time I'm present, I spend with other things, reading or talking to people, or just observing what is happening around me, being aware of it. So we're talking about a reduction of 50, 60, 70%, and I got so much time back from it. Now, quite recently, I did something even more interesting. We'll talk about that in the next video. I will show it to you, because I even reduced it further to now 15 minutes a day. I know it sounds incredible, but it's doable, and I'll show you how. For now, again, my question to you, are you addicted to your smartphone? Probably not, right? I probably was, to some extent, and there are ways to get away from it and still use the benefits of a smartphone, because after all, those are beneficial devices. All right, thanks for watching. It was my pleasure as always, and I'm very much looking forward to our next session. Take care. Bye bye.